Hello friends, this is lecture number 55. The topic is, as you know, the history of the English language. So we have covered quite a lot of ground, isn't it? That is from origin of language up to the Renaissance, and we saw the language growing, infancy, childhood, then youth, vigor, experimenting and asking questions just like a human being. When it comes to the 18th century, what we find is there is some desire for regulation, some desire for order. So this happens, no? Say after you pass your PG, you go in search of jobs, seeking a job, or for higher studies and so on, MPhil, PhD. See, that time, compare that time with the time that you spend in BA classes or plus 2 classes and so on. How different it would be, isn't it? You want to settle down, right? So the same thing, that is the mode of the language also. The language wanted to settle down. So how can the language wish to settle down? The speakers of the language, you know, that they have to, they are the people to see whether the language should settle down or not. In his discourse concerning satire, in the year 1693, discourse concerning satire. Some people pronounce this as concerning. That up to you. You can pronounce it as concerning or concerning. So that is not exactly concerning, but concerning, like that. Okay, so he says that, you know, we have at no prosodia. Who says? Dryden. Age of Dryden, age of Johnson. 18th century is known as age of reason, age of classical imitation. Yes. So he says we have yet no prosody. He says, right? We have yet no prosodia. Prosodia means prosody. So the rules for writing or the things concerning writing or poetry. Not so much as a tolerable dictionary. Not so much as a tolerable dictionary. So the need for a dictionary. We have yet no prosodia, no dictionary, and then he says, or a grammar, so that our language is in a manner barbarous. No grammar, so that our language is in a manner barbarous. So this is the opinion of Dryden, John Dryden, the great Dryden. See, so he says in his discourse concerning satire, 1673. So the age is 1650, 1800, 1.5 centuries. So he says we have yet, that is threshold of the 18th century, you can say, no prosodia. Prosody, you know, prosody, that is figure of speech, then meter, as a whole, everything about writing poetry, the technicalities of writing poetry, you can say. Prosody, not so much as tolerable dictionary. We have no prosody, no dictionary, and no grammar. So that our language is in a manner of barbarous. So the Englishman himself says, we are speaking a kind of barbarous language. Why, you know? When you compare English in the 18th century, two classical languages, Latin and Greek. Latin and Greek, they had already been reduced to rules. There are established conventions. So that's why the language was so in such a flexible manner. Dryden said that, again Dryden, we are quoting Dryden said, to express a thought correctly, he had to first translate that into Latin and then translate into English. So that it was understanding via Latin. If he wanted to say something, then first he has to put it in Latin, and then he has to translate. That is the condition. So, language is in a barbarous state. Naturally, what can happen is there will be a desire for regulation. Now, 18th century, is known as the Augustan age. It is designated as the Augustan age. First half of the 18th century is the Augustan age. So, the dominant characteristic, the dominant thinking of this period affected both language and literacy. Now, what was the dominant thinking of this period? Their thinking was geared to strong sense of order and the value of regulation. Augustan age is known like neoclassical age, another name. So, strong sense of order and the value of regulation. One, strong sense of order and the value of regulation. Value of regulation. That's one. And secondly, so that is order again. Secondly, conforming to a standard which is accepted by a majority. There has to be a conforming. Conforming means agreeing to a standard which is by common consensus accepted or accepted by majority. Accepted by majority. So that is the thing. So the standard is okay, but the standard has to be democratically fixed. Not one or two other, say Dr. Johnson or something, no. Then correctness as an ideal. Correctness as an ideal. So these were as an ideal. As an ideal. So that is, so strong sense of order, of regulation, standardizing, correctness. Now what is the difference between standardizing and standard learning? Standardizing means fixing. After correcting the mistake, refining it, fixing it and protecting it. So that you don't undergo changes. Changes of, see, people are just for the sake of change, there's a fashion, Standard means something that is commonly accepted. We speak of standard meals in the canteen, standard meal. And it's something that is accepted as a rule. So you get rice or chapati limited, curries limited, like that. The standard meal. But the other thing is special and things like that. You have to know. Yeah. So this is the mood of the 18th century. So all through what you find is regulation and order. So in two words you can sum up regulation and order. Reason. Scientific rationalism. Scientific rationalism dominated all the fields of, all areas of thinking. Even not only in language and literature, but also other areas. See? And the example was classical. Classical means not Greek especially, but Latin. So the model, we had a model. When you want to correct yourself, what you want is you want a model. Say you want to correct yourself, you want to fix yourself, you want to standardize yourself, then what do? First model is your teacher. You will see how he behaves. If he is regular, if he comes with a refined appearance, if he is a person of values, if he is a disciplined person. So then you will say, I will be like that. Understand? So models are there. So our model in Latin, it was Latin. Elegance and refinement. Latin. Elegance and refinement. So conscious efforts, and the 18th century was conscious of its superiority. Oh, we are the English people, the neoclassical people. We are following the Latin and the classical example. So it wanted, the age wanted to make its values permanent and also make it stable. So whatever I am saying this way or that way, two words are prominent, and that is dominant and prominent, and they are, first is regularity, second is order, and third is three words fixed. So what happened is, there was a demand for standardizing, refining and fixing the language for the first time. It's conscious efforts also. And then these people looked around and said, they wanted a grammar, and said, oh, immediately a revelation, there is no grammar. English has no grammar. English has no good dictionary. There may be glossaries of difficult words, but the need for this you should understand why. Because just in the 16th century and early part of 17th century we saw, it was a period of experimentation. Creativeness of Shakespeare, using verb as noun, noun as verb, adjective as a noun. It's no problem. For as far as he is concerned, he was above all laws. So confusion, of course, confusion was confounded, we can say. Because of this flexibility in spelling, flexibility in pronunciation, flexibility in usage and so on. So what happened is, there was a strong desire among the English people to standardize. And what is meant by standardization? First, settle disputed points. What is meant by standardization? Well, first, settle all the disputed points. And who is the arbiter points? Who is the judge? Latin. That is it. Logic. Logic and Latin. Logically. That's why this double negative was settled. So logical, second logic now. Two negatives make a positive. Then is the next is that secondly, there should be a classical model. Classical model. And that is analogy should be of Latin. Latin. So double, it is I. It's I, it is allowed in Latin, not in English. Because it's me, you cannot say why. Because is does not take object. He is a boy. You don't use the object case there. Object is accusative case. So you use the only nominative. It is I. It's I. So that is correction on the Palmer, so the grammar written by Palmer, P-A-L-M-E-R, Palmer. Palmer says its English language was Latin grammar all the way. All the rules have been made according to the Latin grammar. See that? Then power of individuals to legislate. So there should be, power should be given to individuals. Individuals like Dr. Johnson, Dryden, Swift, etc. to legislate. There has to be some great people now. For this is the way they try to standardize. Power. And then there should be, there's a Englishman clamored for an academy on an English academy on the model of French academy. An English academy. English academy on the model of French. French academy on the model of French academy. This is all the standardizing symbol. And fix and protect. Fix the language and fix and protect from change, from other unnecessary influences and so on. Fix it permanently and protect it. That's it. Understand? So he's swift, yes. Then there is another. So ultimately, you can see what I said. Settle and disputed points means order. Classical analogy, they are based on Latin. Individual Latin, again they are given authority for settling. English Academy, for against settling, and fix and protect against settling. So the key words the 18th century, they are order and regularity. Understand? So that is different ways I am putting it there. So not only myself, but writers of this period also do the same thing. We saw the Laments by Dr. Ashwari Dryden, isn't it? Yes. And then the most important word in the 18th century, as far as regulating language is concerned, they had a word, it's called ascertaining the language. Ascertainment, this, or ascertaining, ascertainment or ascertaining. That means standardizing. Dr. Johnson defined ascertainment as that is settled rules and established standard. That's what he said. Ascertainment, according to Dr. Johnson is settled rules. First is, you must have settled rules. Settled rules and established standard. And established standard. So it is in this sense that Swift put forward his proposal. Swift wrote a proposal, a treatise, and the title of that is A Proposal for Correcting, Improving and Ascertaining the English Tongue. Swift said. This is the meaning, Swift. When Swift published his pamphlet, he gave it the title, that is ascertaining the proposal, this is the title for ascertaining, correcting, improving and ascertaining the English tongue. So this was the title of the pamphlet. So Swift made his individuals, we have already seen, some important individuals were given opportunity to legislate on the language. One such person was Swift. So he issued a pamphlet. The title was this: The Proposal for Correcting, Improving and Ascertaining the English Language. Ascertaining the English Language. So that is, ascertaining means this. It is in this meaning that Dr. Johnson settled the rules and established standard. Settled the rule and established as a standard. So that is. Now, what is actually, say in a layman's, how do the laymen understand ascertaining? First and foremost, it was to reduce the language to rule and set up a standard of correct usage. So ascertaining means, we have already seen what Dr. Johnson said and how Swift has used it. So the process of ascertaining is to reduce the language to rules and fix it in the desired form. So all these while I have been telling you this now. standard use, standard, in the desired form. And set up a standard of correct usage. And set up a standard of correct usage. That's one thing. Then secondly, in the processor, refine by removing defects and introducing improvement. Refine the language. Refine the language by removing faults or defects. Faults or defects. Refine the language by removing faults or defects and then introducing improvements. And introduce improvements. And the third point is, this is the layman's understanding of ascertaining. Fixed permanently in the desired form. That already we have seen, fix it in the desired form. So there is no point in writing it here. Fixed permanently in the desired form. That is it. Understand? And further interesting thing is that why? Because again we can to quote Dryden in his dedication to Earl of Sutherland, and he was dedicating Troilus and Cressida. Troilus and Cressida. Troilus and Cressida. In his dedication to this book, dedication to Earl of Sutherland, he said, how barbarously we yet write and speak. He said, how barbarously we yet write and speak. Your Lordship knows. That's what he said. How barbarously yet we write and how barbarously yet we write and speak. Write and speak. Your Lordship knows. Your Lordship knows. So this sums up that efforts or introduction, so to say. Ultimately, if I say, there are 4 main points to remember. First, correct faults. Second, fix it. Third, protect it. Fourth, have a dictionary. Fifth, have a grammar. And then you can have the model. In model is life. That's all. So the spirit of the 18th century, not 16th century, 18th century. Classical. Appeal to authority. The appeal to authority is, that is classical. Classical rules, classical grammar, language of the classical languages. See, I already told you, Palmer is lamenting. English grammar is all the way Latin grammar, nothing else. See, so if you remember 5 or 6 points like this, then so far it is clear. Now what next? How did Englishmen achieve this? As already I have told you, number of grammarians, they put their effort into this. Bishop Lowth, for example. And a dictionary, not a glossary, but dictionary. The history of lexicography begins with a glossary. Glossary means list of difficult words. Even now you will find certain textbooks, now at the end of that you will find glossary. Glosses means difficult words. And then from there it began and then finally culminated in 1755. The effort on one great man, and that is Dr. Johnson. A complete dictionary of the English language. Compiled by Dr. Johnson, single-handed. And thus he became the greatest of all the lexicographers of the English language. So this and more interesting and enchanting stories we will see in our next class. Till then, bye, have a nice time. Hope we have moved from, you understand now, infancy, childhood, youth, now it is maturity. And after maturity, what will happen? Expansion. So when you get mature, get a job, what next? What is the next step? Get married. And you expand yourself now. That is, you have children and so on. They go to different places, go for a job, seeking, etc. Same thing with language. When you say history of language, that's the same thing. It's like the history of a human being. See that? So now it is the time for maturity. The period of maturity, the period of standardization, the period of correcting, the period of refining, the period of improving. This normal enrichment now is improving. Period of ascertainment, ascertaining, the fixing and the correcting and fixing. That is ascertaining. Correcting, improving and the ascertaining. Means the same thing. See that? So the major actors in this drama of ascertaining, Dryden, then so far we have seen Swift and Dr. Johnson. Isn't it? We have seen two quotations of Dryden. One is discourse concerning satire. Isn't it? One in the discourse concerning satire, and the second is Earl of Sutherland, his dedication to him of his book Troilus and Cressida. So how barbarous we are. How barbarously we yet write and speak. It's very sad about it. Also we will see from now, I don't think now people are writing barbarously, isn't it? Do you write? No. If you write, your teacher will put into mark, and then your book will be smeared. There will be a generous sprinkling of red ink on every page in your conversation book if you write barbarously. And the latest notion is that there's nothing like a standard, barbarous and so on, very free. No? What is important is communication. And all those things we will see later. For the time being, I think we will wind up for the day. So bye. Have a nice time. Enjoy your life.